Hi guys, and welcome back to At Home with Elisa. Today I am getting out into my garden and doing a bit of clear up. We are in between the season of spring and summer, so I need to get rid of my spring crops and encourage my summer crops and get them started, but I need to do a little bit of clear out beforehand. This week has been a little bit of a week, just a little bit of a week, and a lot of people go out and they go to the gym and work out their frustrations at the gym. No, I'm just going to go and take it out on my garden. So I'm looking forward to getting in there and really getting stuck into it, spending a couple of hours in the garden to just reset myself and reset the garden, and everything will be so much better afterwards. All right, let's get started. So here's a little before look at the garden, the way that it is currently. A little bit on the messy side. Definitely need to have a good clean out. This coffee table is so heavy, I'm shocked every time I have to move it. But I really wanted to move it out of the way so that I could put my drop sheet down, just to collect some of the debris from my gardening. I do have those stones on the pathways and I really love them, but I hate when I see different things on them, so I really like to keep them nice and clean. The original plan with the sweet peas was that I was actually going to let them mature and then save the seeds. As you can see, they did start dying off, but when I thought about it, I wanted to do something a little bit different next year, and I wanted to make sure that I could save individual colours. So I thought, nope, I'm just going to rip them all out. I do have some other ones saved in pots in other spots of the garden, and I will definitely be seed saving in those ones. But on this big one that had all the multicolours and different varieties, I decided just to rip it all out. I was trying to be really careful because I do have other plants just kind of up against this lattice work here, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't actually rip any of those out while I was ripping and tearing with the sweet peas. These celery plants have definitely been on my hit list for a while now. I left them in a little bit too long, but they were definitely hard to get out, but they're out now and I'm loving it. It's a little hard to tell from this picture here, but I'm just trimming one plant back here, and then there is another one that I've already trimmed back and it's planted beside it as well. So I'm just leaving two of those in the garden and that's all. My youngest daughter Charlotte came home from swimming lessons and she asked if she could help me out in the garden. I always encourage kids to be out in the garden because it's so much better for them to be outside than be inside. So we decided to pick some of the carrot flowers. I like to save them. I think that they look really pretty in bouquets. One of Charlotte's favourite jobs to do in the garden is to pull up the carrots, and here she's just found 2 carrots that were growing entwined, and she told me they were cuddling carrots, so she wanted to show you her cuddling carrots. And we found a beautiful little strawberry. These strawberries are actually called Charlotte strawberries. They're the reason I got them, and she loved them. Okay guys, so I have finished my garden workout and I'm really happy with the results. In the first garden bed, I actually have some tomatoes and corn that I want to plant in here. And this arbor, I've got some extra rockmelon. I think it's also called cantaloupe in America. But I have some rockmelon and I have some cucumbers. And now that it's summertime, they're really starting to take off, and I can plant them up this arbor on both sides so that hopefully I get a lovely bumper crop, because they're just a little bit crowded where they are now. This vine here is called a choco plant, and that was actually given to me by my father-in-law, and I knew that it was coming up, but it just didn't have free rein. So now that it's got a little bit more room, hopefully it will take off and provide some nice shade here. Also in this garden bed, I actually have quite a few dahlias. So in the twin garden bed, so on the other side of the arbor as well, I have dahlias, and I knew that they were coming up soon, so I really did need to make way. Those sweet peas were crowding them. The cornflower, I'm not sure how much longer the cornflower or bachelor's button will be with me, but I've left it in for the meantime. And underneath the bachelor's button or cornflower, I just have 2 celery plants. I planted them on this side because this side actually gets a lot less sun, so it doesn't get the hot afternoon sun. So I'm thinking that they might actually prefer it a little bit better here until I have my garden made that's a little bit more in the shade. And I just have my tomato plant starting to take off, and also another dahlia that's really coming along. And again, on this side of the arbor as well, I will plant the rockmelon and the cucumbers. And this garden bed, I couldn't help myself. I had to take out all those carrots. We have so many carrots, it's not funny. I honestly could not keep up with the amount of carrots that we had. This garlic here will be coming out very shortly as well. It's just about at its point where it's ready to harvest. Hopefully I had a good crop. I did have them in another garden bed, and I know that they rotted out with all our crazy weather that we've been having. But now that the carrots are out, I'm also thinking that the strawberry plants along the side there will actually be able to get a little bit more sun, which will be really, really good for them. And after that garlic is out, I actually have some dwarf peach trees that I'm looking to plant. So again, it's mirrored, so this side and also on the far side as well, they will both have dwarf peach plants. So I'm looking forward to putting those in. And I have to find somewhere else for carrots, but just not such a large garden bed for carrots, because we really don't need that many. I know that the garden looks a little bit crazy at the moment, just with everything being ripped out, but it is change of seasons for us, and this week I'm actually hoping to get out into the garden a few early mornings and get some more planting done and get some summer veggies and fruits into the garden. And this is my bucket here of my carrot flowers. I think that they are just lovely. They are going to be used in a bouquet that I'm making this afternoon. But look how pretty it still looks, even with everything cleared out. The real downside is that I just won't have a shade area. This is where I sit in the shade. This is the only shade that we have in this garden. Problems with an immature garden, I suppose. And here we have the carrot graveyard, the carrot and celery graveyard. So I'll leave this here on the ground here probably just for about 48 hours. We have our flock of bantams out today, so we have 2 flocks. The bantams, oh look, you can see them actually getting to it over there. So we have a flock of bantams, and we also have a flock of larger breeds. I don't mix the two, so it's Bantam's day out today. So the little girls will get in with their rooster, and they will get into all those carrots, and they'll really enjoy it, and the celery as well, and there was even some nasturtium. So they'll get into those, and then tomorrow will be Big Girls Day out, which is for our larger breeds, and they will really get stuck into it. So they'll demolish it. They're a little bit more ferocious, shall we say? A little bit more ferocious than the smaller bantams. So they'll get in there and make quick work of all that. And then whatever's left over will go into the compost. So thank you so much for joining me in the garden today while I did my big garden workout. I do enjoy cleaning out all the garden beds and starting a new season. Looks a little bit bare for a while, but it doesn't take long for it to come back on again. I will come through a little bit later and give that a water. It's very hot at the moment and I don't really want to burn anything by watering it, so I'll wait till a little bit later and then I'll give it all a nice water in. And then over the next couple of days, I plan on actually planting out all of our summer crops. So I'm looking forward to getting in and planting, seeding, and tidying up a little bit. So it's just undergoing about a week's worth of change at the moment. And then hopefully it'll look nice and tidy again. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.